Strel-Nation, it's your boy Jacob coming at you with another video. And today, I am joined by my friend Cade.
What's poppin'?
And we're starting a new section on our channel starring Magic the Gathering. Cade and Sam are going to be heading this channel, so without any further ado, I'll give it over to him.
What's up, Strel-Nation? I'm Cade. I'll be doing MTG stuff alongside Sam. I'm more of a modern guy since I kind of got out of standard after Tarkir rotated, and I just wanted to do a deck tech on Affinity, one of my favorite decks in Modern so far. So what we have here is we have the basics 0 drops with Ornithopters, Memnites, and Mox Opals. So Mox Opal is really the engine of your deck in Affinity because you have a lot of 0 drops or 1 mana producing things like Springleaf Drum. So usually a good turn would be having a couple 0 drops, a Vault Scourge and a Signal Pest, because that puts a lot of aggression onto your opponent. And then if you can do a turn 2 Cranial Plating and you can equip to a Vault Scourge or something that has flying, you're going to be dealing a lot of damage. Arcbound Ravager and Steel Overseer are really good together, but Arcbound Ravager really takes care of a lot of removal that's going to be coming at a lot of your creatures. And the one thing when playing Affinity is you have to always remember that your Ravager is always going to be hungry and you always want to eat your stuff. We have Galvanic Blast in here because it's 1 mana better than Bolt. So when you need to get them last couple points of damage in, you can just Galv Blast their face. Etch Champion is basically in here against any colored strategies. Your really good matchups would be Scape Shift and Panza and any control-y type deck as well. Because even though you have a hard time against Grixis Control and Grixis Death Shadow, as long as you can get an Etch Champion that is active, you can still get in for those points of damage and still kill them. It's also a very effective blocker. Unfortunately, against Burn, if they do use Skullcrack, your Etch Champion will die. So we have Master of Ethereum in here. It's just basically a lord towards all your artifact creatures, and as well it gets bigger for each artifact you play. We have some new additions from Aether Revolt and Kaladesh in Inventor's Fair and in Spire of Industry. So Spire of Industry is strictly better than Glimmervoid because you can't get blown out by mass board wipes as you would with Glimmervoid. As well, we have Darksteel Citadel, which is artifact lands from Mirrodin. You can eat them with Ravager. They power up your Cranial Platings. They give you Metalcraft towards Mox Opal and Metalcraft towards Galvanic Blast. We have the 8 Moth creatures. We have 4 Blink Moth and 4 Ink Moth. Against some decks, you gotta be faster and you can't just go with regular damage, so you have Ink Moth in here. You can equip a Cranial Plating, you can give it +1/+0 with Signal Pest, you can sacrifice artifacts to Arcbound Ravager and put it onto Inkmoth Nexus. The specific thing with Arcbound Ravager is you can sacrifice to itself, and the sad thing that can interrupt that is Rest in Peace, because Modular requires it to go to the graveyard. Cards that you really get blown out by are Kataki, Stony Silence, Rest in Peace, not really, but it's still a blowout against your Arcbound Ravagers, so it basically shuts off 4 cards there. Chalice of the Void, if they play it on 0, I wouldn't say scoop, but you basically lose 8, 9, 10, 11 cards in the main deck. But if they definitely play a Chalice of the Void on 0 and 1, there's no point in playing the game. You should probably scoop. Cards that are hard to maneuver around would be Kolaghan's Command, because it does kill a creature and destroy an artifact, so it's basically a 2-for-1 against you. As well as the fact that it makes you discard. Decks that you're really good against is Tron, Scape Shift, Panza, Pox, the Counters deck, especially after sideboard. The mirror match basically depends on whether or not you're playing the Galvanic Blasts or ensnaring bridges in your sideboard. If you don't want to play Galvanic Blast and you want to play more of a control-y version, there's always Glintnest Crane, and as well there's always Thought Cast and the 1 white mana exile a creature with Metalcraft. So we're going to go to the sideboard now and show you what's good against what. So a lot of sideboard cards for Affinity are usually multi-purposed and not basically towards one deck. So we have, right now my sideboard's a bit wonky because I don't have chalices right now, so the chalices would be where the Spellskites are, and I'd have 1 Spellskite instead of this 1 Pia's Revolution. Pia's Revolution has actually been pretty good. I went to an event with it, and somebody didn't notice what it did, and they got completely blown out. As well, it pushes a lot of pressure on killing a lot of your artifact creatures, and it just puts them in a spot in which they'd rather want to take damage, or rather they'd want to kill my stuff and let it go back to my hand, or have it go to the graveyard and then take 3. Relic of Progenitus, it's against Dredge. It could be used for the Coco Counters deck right now, Grafdigger's Cage, as well for the Coco's counter deck as well. As well for this, it's basically towards any like control deck as well, so they can't use Fatcaster or Snapcaster, as well as for Grixis Death Shadow, because they can't get stuff back with their Lilianas, and they're generally using Thought Scour on theirself. Ancient Grudge, it's for anything that has Chalice or against the Mirror Match. Spellskite against Burn, Thoughtseize to get Chalices, to get Katakis, to get anything that threats your artifacts, really. Blood Moon, it's good against Tron, it's good against the Mirror Match because it also shuts off their Blink Moths and Ink Moths. Basically any deck that wants to be greedy and use a lot of multicolors and not regular basics. Master of Ethereum, you basically take out your S-Champions to put this in against Eldrazi Tron or Eldrazi, since all their stuff's devoid or colorless. Gear per Aether Grid for the Mirror Match, for Coco counters, and generally a good aggressor against any faster deck. Wear and Tear, good against the Mirror, good against getting Stony Silences. Whip Flare, against any general aggro deck because it deals 2 damage to non-artifact creatures. And that's basically it for the sideboard. Everything's usually versatile. It's not generally used just for one deck in particular. This is Cade from Strel-Nation TV, and I'm signing off. See you guys later.